Hey guys, so I thought I would do another Playing with Makeup Forgotten Loves video. I did this maybe about a month ago and I got a really positive reaction from you guys, so I thought I would do it again. I have plenty of Forgotten Loves in my collection, so I just figured maybe I would do a video like this, I don't know, like once a month. And it's been a great exercise for me to go through my collection and just pull out things that I know that I loved like way back in the day when I first got it and just haven't gotten a chance to use since then. So why don't we go ahead and get started. I have a primer here that I remember really enjoying. I purchased this during my full face of Clé de Peau, and this was over the summer sometime. And this is their Brightening Enhancer Base. And I just remember liking the effect that it had on my skin. It was very brightening. And I don't really remember like what this product looked like. I just remember it being liquidy, which is why I was shaking it up. But oh, that's right. It had like, it has a very thin consistency. It has like kind of like a peachiness to it. I think when I first got this, I thought it was going to be really white. When I saw brightening, the word brightening in there, I thought it was going to be a really kind of like white, pearly kind of base. But I remember thinking, oh, it has more of like a peach color to it. So it didn't scare me as much. Sometimes things that are too white end up looking a little ashy on my skin. So I was happy when this was not just a white, bright white base. This has a faint rose smell, that is pretty much in every Clé de Peau product. Next up, I've got a foundation that actually so many of you just started asking me about this foundation, which is very interesting because this came out over the summer. I did a review and I think many of you asked if I had tried this or whatever. So this is the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. It's lightweight, it's smoothing, it's aloe infused. And I remember liking this, and I reviewed this during a foundation week that I was doing. And unfortunately, I tried this foundation on like the second day, and then all of the subsequent foundations that I tested, I just loved. So I kept going back to those, and this kind of just fell to the wayside. But I do remember liking this. I think my only complaint with this foundation was that it didn't really last that long. By like the 5 or like 6 hour mark, I remember it just started to kind of look not that great on my skin. Like you could actually kind of start to see it. So anyway, we'll give this another shot. I do remember I liked its initial application. I have it in the shade Texel SF3, and I'm going to use my sponge here. So there's the Ilia foundation on my skin. It's really lightweight. It's very, very comfortable on the skin. I have absolutely no complaints about this foundation other than I don't think it lasts like a full 8 hours, which is sort of like my time period for a foundation. I feel like they should last at least 8 hours. So that's my only complaint that I can remember, but I do really like the finish of this foundation. It goes on beautifully. All right, so for concealer, I have the Kevyn Aucoin Supernatural Concealer in the color Light EC02. And I really liked this concealer. I did a full day wear test with this, and I remember it just looked really nice. It did a nice job kind of blurring my under eyes and camouflaging my fine lines. So I am excited to be wearing this again today. It really has been a long time since I pulled this one out. It blends in nicely, blends in really quickly. It has a nice kind of like comfortable, like moisturizing feel. It's not too tacky. It actually isn't very tacky at all. It's just a really nice kind of basic concealer. I don't think it's like super high coverage. It's really just a nice kind of like your average middle of the road concealer. And I feel like some days that's all I really want out of life. All right, so I have some cream products that I really, really have not used in a long time, and I love them. This is the Chanel Soleil Tan Day Chanel. This is that cream bronzer. It's even, the lid is even like really dusty. How awful is that? It is this guy. And you really don't need that much. I remember using this quite a bit when I first got it. And all I got through was like, it looks like this bronzer is kind of like plopped into it. And so there's like a little tip when you buy it. I feel like that's all I actually got through. So I'm going to go ahead and use my sponge again and apply some to my contour areas. I do feel like this is a little bit warm for like a true contour. So it's really nice to really just bronze with. And if I go in light-handed enough, it doesn't look too orange, but it does tend to look a little bit, or it can look a little bit orange on my skin. So I just kind of have to take it easy with the application. But I really like this cream bronzer. I think it blends out really, really nicely. Other than it having like a warm undertone, and that's what I have to be careful of, I think it's a great cream bronzer. I just think it looks really beautiful on the skin. It's like effortless to like blend out. And speaking of cream products, so this I mentioned in one of my top 5 Tuesdays. This is the Illume Trio. The Illume Sheer Color Trio is the full name. And so it's a palette of highlight, blush, and contour bronze, and they're all cream products. And so I was going to go ahead and use like the blush and the highlight here. Going in with the sponge again, I'm going to go into the blush color and just lightly, I think I picked up too much. Let me use a different part of the sponge now and blend that in. Isn't that beautiful? It's so lovely. And I've always talked about this in terms of it being, I feel like, the cream version of Tom Ford's face palette, the Afternooner. I just feel like it's the exact same tones. If that one works for you and you're looking for a cream version of that, this is the one. All right, now I'm gonna take another side of the sponge and go into the highlight and just dab that right onto my cheekbones. Really beautiful, like natural, subtle highlight there. All right, so those are all of my cream products down. I'm gonna use a powder, and I hesitate to call this a Forgotten Love. It is kind of like more of a forgotten like. This is the Surratt loose powder, and the first few times that I used this, I just found it looked really heavy on my skin. So I'm going to try it again. I have a little bit more experience with loose powders now, and it comes in a compact that actually looks very much like a cushion foundation compact. It has like the sponge on top, and then it opens up. I believe Kevyn Aucoin has a loose powder like this too. You open it up and the loose powder is in there. It's really kind of messy. I mean, it makes it kind of travel friendly, but this came with like a sticker on top, and I remember pulling the sticker off and all this powder just went everywhere, and it's never been clean ever since. I'm going to use my fluffy La Mer powder brush, and I'm just going to just pounce it on top and really pick up less than I think I should. And kind of pounce this on. A little bit really goes a long way. All right, well, I am liking it a lot more right now than I think I ever have, probably because I use like 1/4 the amount than I have in the past, but it definitely is one of those powders where like a little bit really goes a long way. It's really quite mattifying. Any radiance you see is all those cream products underneath, but anywhere that I don't have that, it's like, whoosh, it's pretty matte. All right, so I actually have a couple of options for bronzer. I'm gonna use this because this has been a really long time. I've had this product for so long and it's still good. It still works. But I've had this since before I started doing makeup videos on YouTube. So it's been at least 2 years. But this is the Rouge Bunny Rouge Bronzing Glow Powder. I have it in the shade 007. I think it's called At Gold Comb Bay is the name of the color. And Rouge Bunny Rouge is this makeup brand I don't really see anywhere. So I purchased this off of their actual website. And I also purchased some of their things when I was at the makeup show in New York. Oh, is that when I purchased this? Maybe. I think that was May of 2016. Is that possible? So here is the bronzer. It has like a satin sheen. There are little itty bitty micro glitters in there, and not many. And it's something that I feel like you can't even really see on the skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. Not too much since I already have that Chanel bronzer base down, but I'm gonna use my Sonia G Sculpt One brush and shake off the excess. And this has a really nice neutral tone. I really like the finish of this bronzer. It's not too sheeny, it's not matte, it's really nice. It's very skin-like, it's very natural, blends out beautifully, and this 007 shade is a really nice one for me. It also has a really pretty embossing on the pan. Isn't that pretty? It has all these flowers. If you've ever checked out Rouge Bunny Rouge, you will know this, but if you haven't, just check out their site. They just have just like the most beautiful packaging and just like really interesting products and interesting names to things. So they're a fun little company. I just wish they were sold at like bigger retailers, so they were a little bit easier to find, or that you could like see things in person, but alas, they are not. So next up we've got highlighter, and this is the By Terry Compact Expert Dual Powder in Beige Nude. This is like a bronzer on the outside, and then it's got like a highlighter in the middle. This highlighter is so beautiful, and this was like literally in the back of my drawer. I kind of just stuck my hand in the back and said, whatever I pick up is what I'm going to use. And it was like even behind my organizer, and I like pulled it out and I thought, oh, I do love this. This is definitely a forgotten favorites. I'm going to use my Wang number 2 brush, and I like this brush for this pan in particular because it's round and it fits right in there. And just buff that in. It's a really bright highlighter on me. It's probably a little bit too light for my skin tone. I should probably be a little bit cooler or more fair, but I really like it nonetheless. All right, it just got really dark outside, so I just adjusted my lighting. So if you see a little change, that's what I did. Apologies. What have we got next? Oh, eyebrows. I don't really have any forgotten loves with eyebrows, so I'm just going to use a current love, which is my Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel. I'll just do that quickly, and I will pop back on when I'm done. Oh my god, I think I got some of that cream bronzer on my white hair, and now it's like kind of brown. All right, so moving on to eyeshadow. This is the very first Charlotte Tilbury cream eyeshadow that I purchased, one of her Eyes to Mesmerize, and this is in the colorway Bet. And wow, I had that closed tight. This is what the Bet colorway looks like. I'm going to lay this down, and then I'm going to put some powder eyeshadow on top. But I'm using my Sonia G Worker 2 brush, which is my favorite cream shadow brush. And I'm going to lay this all over. This is such a pretty, warm-toned, shiny color. Just really blending that out there. So there is the color Bet down on my lids, and I just want to kind of set that with some powder eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in with 2 shadows, a darker one on the outside, a lighter one on the inside, and I've got 2 of my Tom Ford private eyeshadows. I really like these. There are some colors in there and some formulas that weren't the best, but for the majority, I really liked these private eyeshadows. As you guys know, I did not like the extreme shadows that came in the silver packaging, but I thought these were pretty awesome. So this one is Iris Bronze, and this one is Warm Leatherette. So I'm going to go in with my Builder Pro brush and use this Warm Leatherette color. I thought this would be a good addition to this look. I can't believe I'm actually using the teeny tiny mirror that's in here, and I even have the sticker on top, which is making it kind of blurry. Let me at least remove that. Yep, using this little mirror, it's like a little peephole. Yeah, just my eye fits in there. So there is Warm Leatherette on top of the Bet, and now I'm gonna add this Iris Bronze. I feel like the Warm Leatherette and the Iris Bronze, like the Bet kind of falls right in between the two. Oh my god, why do I insist on using this little teeny tiny mirror? Here I go again. Does that look okay? Can't tell in this little mirror. I wonder, is there a makeup challenge out there? Like a little mirror makeup challenge? Like do all of your makeup in this teeny tiny mirror. Okay, not bad considering I forced myself randomly to use that little teeny tiny mirror. I'm gonna use a little blending brush just to kind of blend out this top edge here. I'm using a Wang number 19 brush. And then I'm going to take some more of this Iris Bronze on my Builder Pro, just the tip of it, and smoke out my lower lash line. I'm going to use a larger mirror. Whoa, I almost dipped my brush into the cream product. Oh, it's just going to be one of those days. Ooh, I'm really digging this eye look. Okay. Alrighty, and now for some eyeliner. So this is the Chanel Stila Ombre Contour in Electric Brown, and I was reminded of this because when Mona was here last week and we went to the Chanel store, she picked this up, and I was like, oh, that is such a good one. So I pulled it back out. This is like a metallic dark brown color, and I'm just going to line my waterline, tight line with it, and maybe add some to my top lid lash line. You know what I'm trying to say. Just gonna take my Pencil Pro brush and smudge that out. All right, and for lips, I've got some Burberry stuff here. So I have a lip definer from Burberry. This is their lip shaping pencil. I have it in the color number 1, nude. And this is, I think, the very first thing I ever purchased from Burberry. And it actually needs to be sharpened. Hang on one second. I hope this pencil is still good. Yeah, feels okay. All right. I actually don't know if I need this product considering what lip product I'm going to use. And that is the Burberry Lip Color Contour in light number 2. It's one of these chubby sticks that I feel like we generally associate with eyeshadows, but this is actually for the lips. And I think you're supposed to be able to use it as a lip liner, lipstick, and it's supposed to kind of make your lips look a little bit more plump. Almost like the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheats. It's like all of the colors in the line. I think you can very easily like overdraw your lips and just make them look a little bit plumper. Oh, I like that color. God, I forgot how much I like that color. Oh, you know what I totally forgot to put on is blush. I put the cream blush on, but I forgot to put some powder blush on because I'm like, you know, my face looks really kind of like washed out. Granted, I have kind of a monochromatic look on, but I feel like I need a little bit of a pop. Totally forgot to put this on. I pulled this out. This is the Natasha Denona Duo Glow in Alba. And this is a really kind of golden, metallic, peachy blush color. It's kind of like a blush and highlight all in one. So I'm going to use this just really lightly. I'm just going to use that Wang brush that I used with the highlight since it's sitting out here. And just tap some on. Yeah, that's really bright. Let me stop adding to that side. There. I don't feel like I look quite as ill as I looked before. So there is my full face of Forgotten Loves. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know down below in the comment section if you have any questions about these products, if you have them, if you love them too. Definitely let me know. And subscribe down below if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video.